Cycling for me has never been about the bikes. They've only ever been the prerequisite tool. I do not see just a bike race, I see riders on heroic journeys and warriors doing battle. At one point, cycling was the most popular sport in Europe because newspapers told magnificent tales about epic races and crafted the great champions into legends. But with the advent of television, cycling lost some of its mystique, and that golden age of journalism and narration has perished. So now let us try to return some romance to the beautiful sport. Let us praise and give glory to phenomenal performances to be remembered for decades to come. Let us dwell on the moments that inspire and move us. Let us chronicle the rise and fall of heroes. Let us chart these life-changing journeys, these cycling odysseys. Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Cycling Odysseys. I'm your host, Patrick Santino. Gotta keep it short tonight. Plus, this is a bummer topic. Not much want to dwell on it. And plus, it'll be time to move on soon and talk about other things. So, with all that said, we're jumping in tonight. It's the big news. Shock the world. The whole world. Because everybody watches cyclocross, of course. And not the NFL, right? All right, anyways, let's jump in. Cross Ketchup Part 5, The Two Bombshells. On the morning of January 5th, before the midweek X2O cross at Herentals began, it spread across cycling social media like wildfire that Alpecin's Mathieu van der Poel, the mighty ace, would be pulling the plug on his cyclocross season in order to heal his back up properly. He was thoroughly depressed not to have a chance to defend his world title in the States. He said this would be the first world championships in 10 years that he has missed. But the news came as no surprise. Since he pulled out mid-race at Zolder, zero good news had been coming out of the Van der Poel camp. And every day there was no news at all was still bad news, for it meant his resumption of racing would only be delayed later and later. It was the proper time to decide if he would commit to an abbreviated season in Worlds or not. And thus it was sadly confirmed. Mathieu van der Poel, the 4 times champion of the world, would be absent in Fayetteville, Arkansas at the end of January. Surely, mighty ace rival Wout van Aert of Jumbo-Visma heard the Van der Poel news as he took to the start of his hometown Herentals Cross. The course was physically demanding as it involved 3 wooded climbs, one of which was very long and beyond comprehension to even attempt to ride. But Wout made quick work of the course, getting out to a comfortable start and imposing his will from the very first moments of the race. For indeed, this was both his home race and his cyclocross season to lose. Or so the cycling world all thought. Wout van Aert, the mighty ace, did indeed win the race with relative ease over Toon Aerts of the Baloise Trek Lions and Tom Pidcock of the Ineos Grenadiers. But in post-race interviews, Wout announced that the Belgian National Championships would be his last cyclocross race of the season. Yes, after a dominant 8-1 start and a rainbow jersey almost begging to be won by him, Wout van Aert, the mighty ace, was bowing out of the Fayetteville, Arkansas World Championships. He said the original preseason plan was always to not attend the World Championships, but after starting out so well, he admitted it was a difficult call to stick to such a plan. Wout confessed he wishes or must put his focus on winning another monument this spring, and peaking for a cyclocross world championships disrupts that training, especially with jet lag fatigue from a trip to the United States. Since that moment, the cycling world was officially preparing to see the first non-Mighty Ace cyclocross world champion since Zdeněk Stybar in 2014. So, what is cycling fandom to make of all of this? A world championship without the mighty aces? Well, in Van der Poel's case, what can anyone, including Mathieu himself, do? Injuries need time to heal. Mathieu can do all the rehab correctly, but he still simply will not be ready in time to defend his title. Wout van Aert is another matter. Is he slighting the cyclocross discipline by prioritizing road races over a world championship? Yes, I guess there is no way around it. But he is quoted as saying cyclocross still remains his first love. And though he has not won the rainbow jersey since 2018, He has won Cyclocross Worlds 3 times. To win a 4th Cyclocross World title would be to do something Wout has done before. What Wout has not yet done is win a cobbled monument. By opting to end his cross season after the Belgian Championships, he gives himself 3 to 4 extra weeks of training for the Spring Classics instead of building up and decompressing down from the Worlds in faraway Arkansas. This seems a worthy trade-off, but it is also a gutsy call. Wout van Aert, the mighty ace, is foregoing a world title that is basically being served up to him on a platter. Not only does he not have to worry about his mighty ace arch rival pulling some stunning performance from out of his hat, Wout has been untouchable since he's jumped back in early December, save a lengthy mechanical on a very fast course. Given such a high probability of winning Cyclocross Worlds, to justify the foregoance of such an assured victory, Wout will now, in my estimation, need to win a cobbled monument and then some. Another big classic or stage race, or even an additional monument this spring. The allure to chase diverse and prestigious road objectives is understandable, especially at this point in Wout's career. But this will be a blunder if he does not turn up massive Spring Classics results. And, to be honest, I am entirely letting my personal bias factor in. Since the Arkansas Worlds were announced years ago, I had marked it on my calendar as the day I would see the Mighty Aces duel it out on the biggest stage and on American soil, and I would be in attendance. Both became so prodigious, there was suspense that one or both would have abandoned cyclocross entirely by this point in their career. But they didn't. Everything seemed to be on pace for a great showdown as recently as Christmas Eve alone. But it was all not meant to be. Fate was against the American crowds and fans like myself. The Mighty Aces are both part of the club, and they are both 2 of my favorite riders, and their rivalry is the greatest I have ever seen in my lifetime. It was dreary news anticipating Mathieu to call it on Worlds, but it was quite a bummer to see Wout out as well. It was depressing enough that real life quickly got back in the way. It no longer seemed justifiable to tackle an 18-hour round-trip drive in late January to see a Cyclocross Worlds without the Mighty Aces. Even if it is still a world championship, even if it will be more open or a better race without them both. A few days later, it was Cyclocross Nationals weekend in Europe. In the absence of the mighty ace Mathieu van der Poel, at Rookven with its pinwheel of doom, Lars van der Haar of the Belwaz Trek Lions added the Dutch champion's jersey to his closet to complement his European champion's jersey. And in Belgium, on the shores of the North Sea at Middelkerke, with its sandy bluffs, Wout van Aert, the mighty ace, obliterated all opposition. The victory was never in doubt, but it must be said, though he is still a member of the club, this race did not make my day. It was only incredibly bittersweet. Watching such a performance only made me ponder what could have been if he and Mathieu were soon to duel once more for the Cyclocross World Championships in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Alright, so as this was actually written right around when the announcement came out, but I had so much other stuff, obviously all the other episodes to put out first, because I was running behind. So anyways, it's coming out now, and then, yeah, I added on the part where I watched Nationals afterwards, because I had it mostly written before Belgian Nats. And then that NFL reference, I have a game on right now on mute. I was watching. And I don't even like football, but whatever. You kind of can't avoid it. Keeps you, I don't know, culturally relevant. All right, but anyways, that's the bummer news. I was going to go. I had a crew. Some of the crew had to cancel for various reasons and everything. So, yeah, trip's not happening. It wasn't meant to be. It's quite the bummer, but that's the reality of it. I actually really wanted to go see Arkansas because I haven't been to Arkansas yet, but that's that. Season moves on. We get to talk about other people soon. I must say I really do like talking about Van Aert and Van der Poel whenever I can, but yeah, it will be fun to talk about everybody else at this race, so we'll see how it goes. All right, look for women's episodes coming out soon too. Subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it. Leave comments, reviews, 5-star reviews especially. Let's get the ratings boosted up or whatever. Follow me on Twitter, Cycling Odysseys. Find the blog post, cyclingodysseys.com. Thank you for listening, everybody. Vive le cyclisme.